この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
Konnichiwa everyone! It's Dan from JaDan.co.uk and today I'm talking about 5 more ways that living in Japan's changed me. Cheers for finding my video. I appreciate that, as always. About a year ago, I made a video about how Japan's changed me as a person. If you want to see that video, it's in the description box below. But basically I talk about how I've changed since I moved to Japan. And that were a year ago. And I've changed even more since then. So this is 5 more things that I feel have changed about me as a person since I moved to Japan. It's pretty weird, but we're going to crack on and see what's going on. Let's start with point number 1. So, one thing that's changed about me, since I came to Japan it changed and it changed again, is that I can no longer decipher what's weird and what's not. Being Japanese, like, when I first came here, for example, I go to convenience stores and see weird titled products like Pocari Sweat. When I came here, I was like, yo, that's hilarious, that's crazy. And now I look at stuff like this, I'm like, is it weird? Is it just me? Have I been here too long? Like, I don't know anymore. Maybe it's weird. I don't know. Some stuff's always going to be weird, like seeing a woman pushing dogs around in a baby pram while they're dressed up with little bonnets and stuff on. Always going to be weird. I don't think that's ever not going to be weird. But I've accepted it. It is what it is now in Japan. But yeah, like for instance, in Imeji the other day in the station, I'm walking along and there's a shop called Titi & Co. And I looked at the sign, I was like, maybe I've just read that wrong. That can't be right. And I looked at it and it definitely says Titi & Co. Like, that's weird, isn't it? Is it weird? I don't know, it's kind of weird. And I had this little dialogue with myself, like, I'm pretty sure it's weird. But I'm not 100% sure anymore. And when I see English on people's t-shirts, I'm always like, yeah, it's weird, but grammatically it makes sense, so I guess it's alright. And things like that, I'm like, oh, maybe I've just been here too long now. But that's one thing that's changed about me, where I'm not sure anymore if stuff's weird just because it's Japanese, or it's just weird in general. I'm not sure. Second thing that's changed about me since I come to Japan is I've become much more aware of my actions and what repercussions they have on people around me and in general. Like in England, everyone's kind of got this me mentality, generally. Like, oh, as long as I'm alright, sod ya. Well, in Japan, like, it's much more collective society, like, people much more interested in the greater good, if you like. So people are much more aware of their surroundings, they're much more aware of their actions, and they don't want to inconvenience other people, and that kind of rubs off on you in a way. Like, when I came here, I'd be like, I'm doing what I want, I don't care.
Whatever, I do what I want.
Now I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that, it's going to annoy someone. Maybe I shouldn't be loud. Maybe I should turn my headphones down a bit. And just little things like this. And I never expected that. Like, when I was in England, if I offended someone, well, like, tough shit. But now I'm always like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't say that. I don't know, it's not that I don't want to offend somebody, it's just that, like, I'd rather just keep peace and just let things go. And that's a big change about me, like worrying about other people, and also not worrying what people think about me, but not wanting to leave a bad impression on people for no reason. And especially when you come to Japan, no matter how you look at it, people are going to know you're foreign, and your actions are going to influence their opinion of other foreigners. And taking that into account, just generally trying not to be a dick, is probably a good move. Another thing that's changed about me is I've got much thicker skin these days. Like, not literally thicker skin, but you know, I don't get offended about stuff so much. Being in Japan and being a big dude and being white, people are going to ask you some weird stuff. And they're going to make offhand comments. And when I first came here, I'd get quite upset about stuff. Like, if somebody mentioned me weight or something. But I'm a fat dude and it's not that usual. So people just want to know. I'll always remember in one of my first English classes, and some guy looked at me and was like, how much do you weigh? I'm like, well, it's a bit personal, isn't it? Like, woo, woo. Now I'm just like, yeah, too much. Like, and somebody asked me the other day, oh, what shirt size are you? Like, what? That's a bit weird, but yeah. And also, I walk in near my house the other day, some little old Oba-chan coming out of her house, just looked at me and went, big! Yep, that's me. Whereas before, I'd be bothered about stuff like that, but I've learned to understand that Japanese people are quite curious sometimes about foreigners. They just want to know. They're not being offensive, they're not being malicious. They just either A, stating the bloody obvious, or B, they're interested and they want to know something. Like, oh, I've never seen somebody your size. What size clothes are you? If you see somebody with massive feet, you might ask them what size feet they've got. It's kind of like that. So yeah, I don't really get offended when Japanese people ask me weird stuff anymore. Often, unless I know they've been like annoying them on purpose, then I'll just be a dick. But generally I'll just be like, yeah, cool, it's a question, it is what it is, so yeah, I don't get offended by stuff no more. Well, less. Fourth one is a bit existential, but bear with me. So, no matter how long I stay in Japan, no matter how good my Japanese gets, no matter what I do here, I'm never going to be Japanese. Of course I'm not. Don't want to be, but you know. But that means there's always going to be this divide between me and Japanese culture. I don't really belong in Japanese culture. Fair enough, I can stay here and people tolerate me and even include me sometimes, but I don't belong in Japanese culture. And that's fine. But when I went back to England last year, I realised I don't really belong in that culture anymore. I've been away for too long. It doesn't really fit me anymore. And basically, that leaves me in this state of limbo where I don't really belong in Japanese culture, I don't really belong in English culture, I don't really belong to anything anymore. Which is kind of cool in a way, but it's also kind of weird. You lose parts of your identity, like, I don't know, like language for a start. Even though I'm speaking quite broad English Yorkshire accent, it was way worse when I first got here. And I've had to change the way I speak and change the words I use, less idioms and stuff like that, because people just don't understand you when they're not native speakers. Which is cool, because then when I speak to people back home, they're like, why are you talking so weird? I don't know. That's just life, I guess. So that's part of it, and just little things like getting used to a new culture. You kind of forget bits of your own culture, and that's a bit strange. So, I mean, that's a bit existential. It's not a good thing, it's not a bad thing, it's just a thing. And I definitely notice that more now I've been here a bit longer. So, yeah, fourth one's a bit weird. Fifth point is about language learning. Most foreigners that come here are going to be teachers, so language learning is a big part of your life, and of course you're probably going to be learning Japanese too. And language learning teaches you quite a lot about yourself. Like, for instance, when learning Japanese, I learned that I'm no good at learning from a book. Sitting and reading and writing, that's not the one for me. It'll go in, gone. But if I actually sit and try and make a sentence myself, and make mistakes, of course, and then just try and use these phrases and these sentences as much as I can, eventually something sticks. And that's the kind of learner I am. And understanding that about myself means that I can prioritize that in other walks of life too. Like with YouTube. Learning from other people is not really my thing. I just have to do it as I go along and make most of it. And that's how this happens. But that's the kind of person I am. So I learned that about myself. Also, being a teacher, like your teaching skills get better when you learn a language yourself, especially if you're a language teacher. I've got much more sympathy for students that can't do something, or something's weird and they're not getting something. When I've had to learn it other way around, I'm like, yeah, this is weird because of this. And having that kind of sympathy for someone, and you can kind of sympathize with their situation and why it's difficult, helps you as a teacher and gives you a lot more empathy, and it makes life a lot easier for you. And last one is you learn a lot about culture when you're learning a language. Like, for example, in Japanese there's a phrase, "Otsukare-sama desu." Danpan will show you. "Otsukare-sama desu." Cheers. So, yeah, I just wanted to get him in as a cameo for this video, but don't worry about that. So, "Otsukare-sama desu," or "Otsukare-sama," or whatever you want to say, is basically a phrase that exists in Japanese that's used a lot. And I couldn't get my head around this phrase at all at first. I'm like, why? Basically, it's like, you say it to people you work with or people you don't work with at the end of the day, and it basically, oh yeah, good job, cheers for your hard work today. But like in England, that culture doesn't exist. If I met some people after work for drinks who work for a different company, and they were like, good job today, Dan, thanks for your hard work. Like, what are you talking about? But in Japan, that's normal. And I had to learn that aspect of the culture before I could make sense of the language. And suddenly understanding all the subtle undertones and stuff like related to Japan through learning the language is quite interesting. So yeah, I all think that's pretty cool. That concludes 5 more things about me that's changed in the last 2 years. So today's question is, if you've lived abroad for an extended period of time, what was the biggest change you noticed about yourself? Do me a favour, comment section below, let me know. Don't forget, hashtag JaDanFam on patreon.com/JaDanDanDan. Join in, it's cool. But that's it, I'm out. So as always, until next time, Jamata!